Hey, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jake Warren. This is Absolute Underground TV, the only show that exposes you to the underground arts and entertainment scene of Victoria, British Columbia. It's raw, it's real, and it isn't making any apologies. This is Absolute Underground TV.
The Punk Show at the Zone.fm.
D.O.A. What can I really say about this band that hasn't already been said in their 35-year history? Okay, how about this? When I was 15 years old, I bought War on 45 on vinyl. I dubbed it to cassette on the wrong speed. I spent the next 6 months walking around listening to Liar for High. Anyway, that's not D.O.A. Farewell tour? I don't think so. Check out this story on D.O.A., the Godfathers of Canadian punk rock.
DOA and Victoria have a long history. If you could please describe your relationship.
Yeah, Victoria's always been a fun town. I mean, the very first show we played with Tim Ray and AV, which was like a kind of a new wave alternative thing. And we played with the Dish Rags, the original punk band from Victoria, who were great. And they were all like 15 or 16 at the time, like going to school here, like grade 10, right? So, I don't know, 30 people showed up, if that, you know. I think the people in the bands and friends outnumbered the actual people who came in and paid $2 a head to get in, whatever it was. It was in a Esquimalt. I think it's the second or third show, but we came and played with, I guess it's the forerunner to the Dayglows, which were the Sick Folks, right? And we played at this like Leonardo da Vinci Center, I want to think, that was the place. And it turned into a big rumble because all these guys came down that didn't like punk rock and started harassing people at the door. And then a bunch of the punks from the venue went and chased them out, and they grabbed like, you know, pieces of wood and stuff like that and chased these guys down the street, right? So we kind of went like, oh, well, Victoria's not quite as staid as we thought, right? You know, so.
It's a really old one from Part 31. It's called D.O.A.
Over the 35 years in music, what are some of the big differences from past to present, and what are some of the things that never change?
Well, the one thing never changed for me, and I think this is why people go to this stuff. People like excitement, you know, and punk rock is like an exciting art form. Not always. It can be mundane, it can be terrible, but if you get the right bands and the right atmosphere, it can be really a real charge. And that's one of the reasons why I still love playing music. And if I'm successful in politics, that's one of the things I'll miss, right? Will be the thrill of the audience getting excited, which makes me excited. And, you know, they work together. It's like an engine. When it starts really firing, it goes crazy, becomes a racing car rather than like a, you know, an old broken down beater, right?
What was it from just starting just a punk band to keeping it alive and being an important part of Canadian punk heritage, and what really kept it going?
I think it's really You like in life, I believe you have to have like a steadfastness in your philosophy and your approach to life. That you know, I positively believe that I can get things done and affect some positive change in this world. And it's kind of that core philosophy. I mean, you could sum it up, I suppose, by talk minus action equals zero. So you have to keep, you know, and that really means you have to keep progressing and keep thinking and keep working on, you know, good activist ideas. And I think that's the kind of root of why DOA has gone on so long and remained like really successful and relevant to people, because we have been activists and people understand that. You know, they realize that DOA, you know, while it has a sense of nostalgia about, because we were there in the early days of punk rock, new wave, that kind of whole thing back 77, 78, we're not known as the nostalgia band, you know, but as a progressive band, because we kept working on like new ideas, right?
Anything you didn't get to do that you wish you had?
Oh, probably, but the list is way too long to complain here. I don't know. I'm pretty happy. I've been everywhere. I've made a million friends, right, and had a good time. And I wrote enough music for like 14 albums, and I think I'm okay. Hey everybody, this is Joe Keithley here from DOA. You know what? You're watching Absolute Underground TV. Don't try changing nothing there, friends. Stick right here.
Hi there, I'm Herb. You guys out there in TV land should just sit back, smoke a fatty, watch Absolute Underground TV, and have a happy day.
Hey, have you heard about this new skateboarder, Matt Howell? Well, I have, and I did a story on him. He's originally from Lanceville, then he started skating in Nanaimo and Victoria eventually. He rides for Sitka. He's awesome, he has a beard, and likes to work with wood. What more do you need to know? It's Matt Howell, ladies and gentlemen.
Been riding on empty a little too long. Sheep's in the meadow and the pigs in the corn, and I'm living my life like a country song with a boring melody. I done gave it all, but to want more, give a call to the girl.
What are you doing right now?
I'm gonna grip this pull cord. I'm gonna shred it.
And we'll drive a truck and we'll cruise around. Ernest Tubbs got the golden sound, and he sells it very cheap. When Nashville, that's the place I'm gonna be. Up in Nashville with them old honky-tonks and melodies. Short vacation.
My name is Matt Howell. I'm 29. I've been skating for 17 years, and I'm from Nanaimo.
So fill it up, boys, and head it out.
I got into skateboarding because my best friend at the time, his brother and all his friends were skating, and I just watched them doing their thing in the driveway, and yeah, next thing you know, I bought one of their old boards. Yeah, I went from there. The driveway just had like 8-foot sections of concrete, and then like 1.5 inches of grass, and then an 8-foot section of concrete. You know what I mean? So it was brutal, but whatever. It was awesome. I didn't get into the regular Nanaimo skate scene for years. Like, I was kind of doing my own thing with some friends of mine that skated, and then they all fell off, and then I basically skated by myself for quite some time. And then as soon as the newer North End skate park opened up, that's when I started getting into the actual skate scene, and then it really like was on after that. I'm obviously down to get sponsored simply because you get stuff for free or really cheap, you know what I mean? I'm obviously down to do that, but I'm not into the stuff that comes with it, where you have to get footage and get photos and stuff. I mean, I've had it really good. Like, I've been skating for Circa for a long time now, like five or 6 years or something like that. All I have to do is send them some photos when I get them, and you know what I mean? They know that I'm skating, and just the satisfaction, man, after going out, obviously just hanging with your homies, having the best time, and then like just learning a new trick, man. There's nothing that feels better than that, I tell you, honestly.
Riding on empty a little too long. Sheep's in the meadow and the pigs in the corn.
I basically started working with skateboards, like building stuff out of used boards, because, you know, I saw what that Hiroshi guy was doing with sculptures and stuff, and I was like, holy, that's unreal, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I wanted to do more functional stuff, you know, like stuff that you can actually use. I've made like hammer handles and stuff like that, and like coffee tabletops, and you know, just dice is the one thing that's really taken off. People are really into that. And the reclaimed wood is the best part. I love that. Like, you just get this wood, just comes out of some old heritage home. It just looks like a, you know, an ugly, rough sawn piece of timber or whatever, full of nails and like chips out of it, and like black, like oxidized holes from the, and then you just kind of give it a little bit of TLC, and you can turn it into some beautiful furniture or anything, really.
Ain't no tea on the sweet.
We're the role models from the BIC. So come on down and drink with me, yeah.
Hey man, I've got news. Be here. I know what you think. Did he roll out of bed looking that good? I did. You're here to learn about my new movie. You know what you told me in my sleep last night? I'll tell you. Alien Workshop won King of the Road last year. What's up with that? I'll tell you what's up with that. You got nothing. Now get out there and give me some footy.
You know, there are a ton of great tattoo artists here in Victoria, BC, but there are not a lot of women tattoo artists, especially veteran female tattoo artists. Lori Fletcher is one of those tattoo artists. She works at Wolf Sheep Art House. She's a shop manager there as well. She's also doing a tattoo on one of our correspondents' legs. I'm gonna throw it over to Jen Warnock right now. Jen, can you hear me?
Hey, thanks, Jake. We are over here at Wolf Sheep Art House, actually just right next door to the Absolute Underground store in Victoria, BC. And I am here with the lovely and talented Lori Fletcher, tattoo artist extraordinaire, who's been actually working on my leg piece that you'll get to see some snippets of the footage from that. We certainly like coming over and seeing all the fabulous, wonderful things that you guys have going on here. There's kind of a lot going on here. Do you want to tell me a little bit about your space?
We do a little bit of everything. We obviously have one-of-a-kind art that's all done in the studio. On Tuesday nights we have See You Next Tuesday, so it's a painting night and a get-together. We have obviously lots of merch and paint and all sorts of paint supplies.
Cool.
Yes, we do a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like a really fun place to be. What kind of art do you really love? Like, you've been a tattoo artist for a while. How did that start for you, and when did you decide it was going to be a career?
I started in '94, back when tattooing was popular and it was great, but it wasn't the same as it is now. Everything has changed over the years, obviously, and I started off in a shop where you didn't really just do one style. You did a little bit of everything, because if you didn't do a little bit of everything, you had to pass it off to another person. So as the only female artist for quite a few years, I was pretty eager to just take whatever came to me in the beginning. So now it's a little bit different. I went through a period where I was the flower lady in Victoria, and that was good. So, you know, I sort of rode that wave and started doing a little bit more Japanese, which I love to do. I still love doing floral. Anything that's really bright and colorful and fun.
That's awesome. Well, you've been doing a wonderful job on the flowers on my leg, which I absolutely, absolutely love and show off every time I can get a chance to do that. You were telling me something about, like, back in the day you guys used to make your own needles because there wasn't, like, disposable needles available. How do you do that?
It's a long, dragged out process. It takes so much time. Every week, once a week, you'd have to sit down on your day off and spend 5 or 6 hours with teeny tiny little fine needles and a soldering iron and some acid, which is really bad for you, and a carcinogen and all that kind of stuff. And a little jig, and it's very tedious.
So tell me about some of your favorite artists. Like, who do you look to for inspiration and what do you like to emulate?
It's so hard to be put on the spot with trying to remember names and such, so I'll apologize if I miss anybody. But there's a couple that stand out in my mind, first and foremost, and that is Nick Baxter. In Victoria, there's a ton of phenomenal artists. Chris David does really phenomenal traditional style tattooing. Of course, I work with 5 of the best artists in Victoria, of course.
Yeah, there's a whole team of you guys here.
Yeah, it's a really big team. 5 other tattoo artists, and I think we're up to pretty close to a dozen that just work at the shop doing various other jobs and such. So, but yeah, there's some really good talent in Victoria. Victoria's loaded with talent for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Lori, for having us in today. It's always a pleasure. Definitely come down to Wolf Sheep Art House at 1215 Government Street, down the stairs. They're happy to see you guys pretty much anytime. Thanks for coming out, guys, and we will see you next time. I'm Jen Warnock for Absolute Underground TV.
Hello there, this is Andrew WK, and you're watching Absolute Underground TV.
So apparently the snow on Mount Cain here on Vancouver Island is the worst snow in the world. It's so bad, in fact, that we had to send Brydo Parker and Ira Hunter to do a story about it. So don't go to Mount Cain. The snow is awful, and here's a story to prove it.
Brydo and Parker here for Absolute Underground's West Coast Report. We're way up at the north end of Vancouver Island at Mount Cain. It's supposed to be the best powder. It's closed all the time except for on the weekend. Also one of the best kept secrets. We're up here to blow the lid off of this best kept secret. We're gonna try to show you what it's all about from insider's point of view. Come along for the ride. You come off the main highway and you get onto like a pretty rough dirt road. Potholes get really deep on the road. Just weave through them. You can usually make pretty good time, but if you don't, it can take an awful long time, as much as an hour and a half to get to the top of the mountain here, but we're trying to do it in 20 minutes. Powder, powder, powder. All we got is powder. An awful lot of powder up here at Mount Cain. They weren't kidding, the sign was right. Island's best powder. Judging by this lineup, the best kept secret on the island snowboarding stash is not such a good secret. 70 centimeters of fresh snow today. Gonna rock that up pretty quick.
Take it all the way. Got no time for tomorrow's girls. Give me the weekend. I want the weekend.
It's nothing more than painful than these T-bars. It's one of the reasons people don't come here. More lineups. Snow looks pretty good though. This will be worth it.
When the sun starts rising, all last night.
A meter deep. Meter of fresh powder. Powder up to my knees. It's the end of the day. Totally awesome day riding up here. I can see why they call it the powder place, because it's just loaded with powder all day long. I've been paddling in powder. It's wicked. Check it out, how deep this is.
The what of the mountain?
The history of the mountain.
The history. Yeah, well, it was back in 1978.
Some dude came over from Europe with a rope tow and dragged it into the West Bowl out here and started dragging people up the hill. And then a few more people came and they told a couple friends and they told a couple friends, but make sure you don't tell a couple friends.
If you put that on the air, you're gonna get jumped. This is the island's best kept secret. Now you're leaking it to everyone else.
It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. We'll have to kill you.
There's too many people.
It's a secret. Can't tell you that. This is kind of a hidden gem. But if this is going to be on Shaw, this isn't really a secret anymore. Oh, you can't.
They don't really want us to let out the secret out of the bag, so we may have to burn this whole show.
The spirit of Mount Cain. This is snow, the community, it's this.
I think of it like ski resort time machine.
Yeah.
Like you just get out of the parking lot and you're in a completely different time zone. Now it's like circa 1967.
Yep.
1967 called, they want their T-bars back. Brydo Parker for Absolute Underground's West Coast Report, dropping in.
Darcy, where have you been? You've got to get me my head. This is Darcy, this is RC. Where have you been? You've got to get me my head. This is Darcy.
The snow and the people. The powder and no crowds. No question. BC's best powder. Except, wait a minute, hold it. Too many people are going to see this. Actually, I got to take it back. There's a lot of way better spots in BC. You know, I was out of line there. it really isn't that great. You know, we're kind of proud of it ourselves, but it's a long way to go for people to get up here. And they probably would have more fun with a chairlift.
This is our scene. Where have you been? Sometimes it gets me in the head. It's a start scene. This is our scene.
See what's going on? It's been an extremely rough 4 days up here at Mount Cain. You gotta be a real rider to really appreciate it. They set a pretty hard pace, but glad I came. Found out the secret of Mount Cain is don't tell anybody about Mount Cain. Brian Parker, Absolute Underground's West Coast Report, signing off.
Where have you been? Sometimes it gets me in the head. It's a start scene. This is our scene.
It's snow all over the lens.
This is Jerry Only of the Misfits, and you're watching Absolute Underground TV.